Let's go ahead and now build a profile page that's going to allow us to display profile information of whatever user that's currently registered in the system. So again, this is going to be straightforward because we already have the ability or we already have the functionality that we require to output profile information depending on what user we've chosen. So let's go ahead and get straight into writing the code on our profile.php page. So I'm going to require in core/init.php, so our initialization file. And let's go ahead and, while we're at it, and just update the link on the home page of this site to profile.php user equals, and then we're going to output our username. So we can basically just copy and paste this output here to there. So what we now get is when we're on the home page, we can click our own username and we're redirected to profile.php, and the query string, the key here is user and the value is Alex. So what we want to do is output the user's full name on the page. Now if the user doesn't exist, we want to generate a 404 error, which we've already dealt with in our redirect class that we created, and we have the ability to pass a numeric 404 and that generate an error. So the first thing we want to do is check if we don't have a user name supplied. So we're going to say if not username equals input get user, then we want to redirect to index.php. Now we're setting this at the same time, so we now have access to this username variable. So let's just go ahead and echo username onto the page. So what we can now do is just see anything that we apply here. So it doesn't matter whether the user exists or not, it just looks the same. So what we now want to do is check if this user actually exists or not. So let's create a user variable, say new user, and pass through the username. Now let's just refer back to our user class. When we construct, we have a user here, and what we want to do is we want to, if this does exist, we are checking or we're making a check for this using the find method. The find method checks if it's numeric or not. So if it's a username that's a string, it will find this in by username. So we're now grabbing a user by username, and we can actually check if this exists or not. So we can say if it doesn't exist. So if user exists, so if it doesn't exist, we want to redirect to a 404, otherwise we'll just output exists. So let's take a look at what this looks like. So if I refresh, it says exists because the user Alex does actually exist. Let's just type in here Ashley exists and type in someone that doesn't exist, and it says oops, that page cannot be found. So we're still staying on the same page, not redirecting anywhere. We're just generating a 404 error in the browser and outputting our data. So now that we know that we have a user that does exist, we're going to set data equal to user data using the user data method here, which, remember, just basically returns the data that we've stored once we've found the user information. So now what we can do from this is we can just basically come down here and start to output some data. So I'm going to create an H3 element, and I'm going to echo the escaped value of data username, and then here in a paragraph I'm just going to say full name, and again I'm going to echo using the escape function data name, and that's it. So now when we refresh the page here, well, obviously we're on Poly at the moment, but if I was to type Alex, it says Alex here and the full name Alex Garrett, and the same with the other users that we have in our database as well, Bill. So that's really as simple as it is. You could use htaccess file and use URL rewriting to perhaps do something like the ability to provide like that. But that's something to look up and try. But for now, we've basically got down the core functionality. You can make the profile page look however you want. But the main point here is that we have all the functionality we need. We've just utilized what we've already written, and we then have access to user profile information. So that's how we create user profiles.